Hello everyone and welcome to the Vampires Codex Origins YouTube series. I'm Jeffrey Dome, owner of 20 Eyes Entertainment. After 3 years of development and countless hours of initial feedback, the Vampires Codex is ready to step out into the national stage. On June 14th through the 18th at Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio, the Vampires Codex will be officially released to the national public. The whole crew at 20 Eyes Entertainment and Fifth Epic Publishing are very excited to finally see this property officially get released. But first, a little about the backstory. We created the Vampires Codex, or TVC for short, as a crowd-funded project in 2014. TVC was originally designed as a multimedia property that would initially be developed as a role-playing game and a novel mythos. And then it could be scaled into video content. In 2015, 20 Eyes Entertainment licensed the mythos to Fifth Epic Publishing to create a role-playing game. And then later on, in 2016, we partnered up with Chivi's Film Productions to film a proof of concept for a live streaming TV series. Both ventures led us to here and now. Before heading to Origins in a couple of weeks, I thought it would be a good idea to release a little bit of the TVC story to the public on YouTube. A lot has changed since we first started the lore in 2014. For those of you not familiar with the Vampires Codex, let's go through a little bit of the basics. The Vampires Codex can be best described as the Da Vinci Code meets Underworld. Our story revolves around a priest who is given a complete chronology of the hidden history of a vampire species referred to as the God Curse. This is the first time in history that humans learn about how they have been manipulated over the centuries by a vampire social structure called the Pentacle. The God Curse are truly different from other vampires because they are humans dealing with the curse of an immortal life. They are living as vampires in a modern world, which comes with a series of challenges. For example, the human mind is not necessarily capable of remembering more than a few years' worth of events. What happens after you live over 500 years? What would you remember? And how do you stay hidden from society? People have credit cards, social security numbers, retirement accounts. It takes a lot of effort to live several lives over a few decades. These are just some of the pitfalls of living forever. Now a little bit about the curse. One of the things that had always bothered me about vampires as an overall lore was that it was never consistent. Some vampires could walk in the sunlight, while others, walking outside, would burst into flames. Silver bullets could take down some vampires, but not others. After debating these inconsistencies, we had concluded that they were rooted in the fact that different cultures had different vampire lore, which also led to our belief, ready for it? Not all vampires are the same. To become a vampire, you must have your soul's pneuma, or life force, cursed by a progenitor vampire. The act of turning someone else into a vampire is called blighting, and it's entirely intentional. Original vampires, or coven namesakes in our mythos, were one of the 8 individuals cast into the 9th circle of hell in Dante's Inferno. They had been cursed by a divinity for committing one or more of the 4 treacheries. Treachery against family, treachery against community, treachery under the guise of truce, treachery against one's liege. The first vampires in history were names that live in infamy, even unto today. Each of the 8 covens bears their moniker. Fra Alberigo created Coven Alberigo. Antenor, an advisor to King Priam of Troy, is the namesake for Coven Antenor. Judas Iscariot forged Coven Iscariot. Brutus and Cassius founded Covens Junius and Longinus respectively. Mordred, King Arthur's half-brother, was the first of Coven Mordred. Ptolemy massacred his in-laws and became the head of Coven Ptolemy. Finally, Cain killed his brother. He was the first of Coven Cain. Each of these covens have their graces and banes. Graces are powers given to vampires as a way of alleviating their curse. Banes are quite the opposite. Banes are elements, objects, and holy relics that vampires are allergic to. Each coven has different banes, related to the nature of their curse. The only universal bane is, of course, the sun.